All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining the Dealer Inspire Mazda webinar. My name is Liz Paulman. I am the Mazda Program Director with Dealer Inspire. Our VP of Sales, Mike Colaccio, is going to run us through our program offering.
Great. Thanks, Liz, and thank you everyone for hopping on the call. I'm going to share my screen here. Let me know once that comes across, Liz, on your end.
All right. You can see it.
Great. All right. We're excited to talk with everyone about the new Mazda website program. I'm going to give you a quick overview. We have 30 minutes allotted to go over our whole platform. So I'm going to give everyone a high-level overview of all the offerings at Dealer Inspire. So I will walk through. As Liz mentioned, I'm Mike Colaccio. I'm the Vice President of Sales at Dealer Inspire. So what I want to start with is to give everyone a very quick overview of who Dealer Inspire is, if anyone on the call is not familiar with us. Dealer Inspire was founded in 2012. We actually started out as a kind of boutique digital marketing firm with a heavy focus on user experience and really providing that high-touch digital, the digital agency campaigns for the dealerships. And as we were building out those campaigns, we kept running into issues and other website providers. So what we did is we actually built out Dealer Inspire. So as I mentioned, we have a heavy focus on user experience. So we wanted to control the experience on the website. So in order to get multi-channel marketing done correctly, that's why we created Dealer Inspire. Since then, we've grown to 300 employees. We have 4 awesome products, which I'll hop into here in a moment. And we are based outside of Chicago in Naperville. So since 2012, things have been moving pretty fast for us here at Dealer Inspire. We've been recognized as a 4-time Pinnacle Award winner with Brian Patch's award in the AWAs. And then just recently, we were ranked 39th on the Inc. 5000 for the fastest growing companies in the U.S. So we're pretty excited about that. And we're also humbled by that because, we obviously wouldn't be here without our clients and the dealers. So, in a testament to that with kind of the technology that we build and some of our partners that we have out in the space, specifically with Shift, we've actually been one of the fastest growing OEM certified website and digital advertising providers in the past couple of years. So with recently being announced with Mazda and Kia was just recently announced as well, you can see some of the partners that we work with on the OEM front. So again, we're extremely humbled by this, and we couldn't have done this without our clients and the dealers. So I'm going to give you a couple of reasons why the dealerships work with Dealer Inspire. One is service and support. We are a service-first business. We want to make sure that as we're building the best technology in the industry, that we're backing that up with the best support in the industry as well. So as we're going through this, we want to make sure that we can service your dealership and also provide you guys with the best tools and the best support to get things done in a timely manner. And then also as we're going through using smart processes at the dealership and then also internally at Dealer Inspire, we want to make sure that we are using technology to make things move quicker for you at the dealership and also at Dealer Inspire. And then 3 is innovation. We want to make sure that as we're building out products and changing with the way customers shop and technology is constantly changing, we want to ensure that we're staying ahead of the curve when it comes to creating the best technology in automotive to adapt with how customers are interacting with that. So I'm going to give you a very high-level overview of kind of how we build our software. We want to make sure that we can touch the customer through the entire shopping process. So the way that we actually develop our software is that we can touch them through that phase. So as they are shopping and they're trying to find the vehicle that they're looking for, we're going to drive the traffic to your website through our digital advertising platform at Launch Digital Marketing, and then our programmatic ad platform, Fuel. We're just going to find those customers and drive them to your dealership. And then phase two, as they get to shopping on the website, we want to make sure that we're providing them with a great user experience and giving them the information that they need in order to make that decision. And then three is actually connecting with those customers. We are one of the only providers, if not the only provider in automotive, that has built our own proprietary chat platform. As you can see across the software that we have, we're more of a build it company instead of trying to bolt on other products. We want to make sure that everything is kind of working in unison for you at the dealership, so you can have one provider to work with and also have one data set to work with across your customers. And then at the end, as they go through and making that final purchase process, we actually developed a platform called Online Shopper, which what Online Shopper is it enables the customer to save time before they come into the dealership, or if they came to the dealership, and actually facilitate the start of the purchase online. So as you can see, we develop software in more of a linear fashion. And we don't look at ourselves as a website provider. We look at ourselves as a marketing platform for you at the dealership. So I'm going to hop into the website side and just kind of walk through some of the key attributes on our platform and what our customers love, and also kind of why we build it that way. One is purely from design and aesthetics. We're built on top of WordPress, which is our content management system. And if anyone on the call is not familiar with WordPress, WordPress is the most universal CMS platform in the entire world. It actually accounts for around 28% of the websites on the internet itself. So what that allows us to do is that there's people developing on this around the clock, around the world, and we want to make sure that we're staying up with the best of the best in terms of when it comes to new enhancements, or if Google releases something, WordPress is updated very quickly. And then also what that allows us to do is that we don't have to stay within a wireframe of any of a design to, if you go onto a website, we don't just have templates that you choose. We actually come to you with a designer on the call to get your look, your feel, and see how you want your website to be portrayed from the consumer side. And then also on the mobile side, our websites are responsive. I think everyone's websites are responsive nowadays, but from a mobile standpoint, we want to make sure that as customers are browsing on mobile, that they can actually get to all the information that they need on their mobile websites. So when it comes to mobile, what's the biggest factor that determines how customers are having a great experience on your website? Page speed is a huge factor in that, and you can read all the literature of Google and any of the pertinent blogs out there. We have a heavy focus on page speed at Dealer Inspire. We actually have a team that is solely dedicated to page speed, and we are confident, and we have the data to back it up, that we have the fastest website platform in automotive. And you can see the numbers down below across our 2,000 websites. Our average desktop speed is 81, and on mobile is a 71. So again, page speed and user experience is such a huge factor. So we want to make sure that as we're building these great website for you, that they can load quickly and provide your customers with a great user experience. Then as the customers get to your website, this is also a huge differentiator in terms of what we do, is that we are of the nature of providing a unique, personalized shopping experience to your customers. We don't want to serve up the same messages to every customer that comes to your website, because we know that they're all not the same. So what we can do is we can actually serve up dynamic messaging to customers based off of a multitude of factors in our back end that you at the dealership can set, or you can work with your performance manager to set, to serve up particular offers. If there's a Mazda, a CX-9 shopper, then we're going to serve up CX-9 offers based off of what they're doing on the website. Or you can get into geofencing, which allows you at the dealership to create a geofence around a particular area. let's say CarMax as an example. You can put a geofence around CarMax, and as a customer is showrooming, they can actually, as they go to your website and go to look at your inventory, you can serve up a dynamic message to that customer saying that you'll beat their trade-in or something of that nature. But the whole premise of this is to deliver the right message at the right time, and it doesn't get, it doesn't get any better than the mobile shopping experience to delivering that as they go to your website in a specific area. And you can set as many of these as you want on the website. Another tool that we have here is, again, providing that great experience to the customer is the lease and finance calculator. We know that around 85% of the customers, as they're coming to your website, are browsing your inventory to look at price, right? So we want to make sure that as they're looking at the price or their monthly payment of the vehicle, that we can actually provide them with an actual, it's not going to be down to the penny, but they're going to be able to build their pricing or their monthly payment based off of the parameters that they enter. So instead of on your website having a fictional payment of 3.9 in every single vehicle, this is more intuitive to the customer because they're putting in where they think their credit is, how long they want the vehicle for, and then we'll actually pull in the real rates from the manufacturer specifically for your location. So again, this is a tool that's going to provide a more accurate payment for the consumer side. Then you can also collect the lead on your end as well. As customers are browsing when they get to your website, we use freeform search. So what this allows us to do is that, as you can see in the video on here, that as customer is typing, it will actually pick up and it will filter out your inventory in real time as they're typing, similar to Google or Best Buy or Amazon, any of those websites that have the instant site search. So this is great to increase conversion, where a customer doesn't have to go through and click on multiple items to get through the actual search facet. They can do it in real time and type anything in as they would on any of their website. And again, the whole premise of this is to get customers to inventory quicker instead of having to click multiple items on the search facet. Then as they're browsing, we have a tool called our glove box, which is essentially a short list for the shoppers. As they're browsing the inventory, they can actually save the vehicles. And as they save those vehicles, you at the dealership collect the lead with their email address. They would log into either Facebook, Google, or Twitter to actually identify that customer. And then as they save those vehicles, you at the dealership know what they're saving, and then they can get notified of any price changes or when the vehicle is sold as well. So it's a great tool. Essentially, it's a shopping cart for the customers when they come back to have a short list of the vehicles that they looked at. So as we launch your website and we're working with you at the dealership and the performance manager, and we're establishing your KPIs, we want to ensure that as the customers are coming to your website, that we can make sure that they are converting. So we have our conversion rate optimization team, and you can see the partners that we work with: Google Analytics, Adobe, Clicky, Hotjar, and Optimizely. We want to make sure that we can partner with them and also plug them into our platform, being on WordPress, to actually use the data of what customers are doing. So we're a fan of using data over emotion to actually make the decisions, because the numbers don't lie, and what your customers are doing on your website, we can then launch experiments to see, changing the verbiage or changing the colors or things of that nature. So we can run A/B testing on your website to see what's performing better. And then as we get those metrics, we can then make those decisions based off of those numbers. So we constantly want to evolve and work with you at the dealership to, increase the conversion on your website, and also use great tools out in the industry outside of automotive, but great tools that are used in e-commerce to provide you with those metrics. One of the other great tools that we have that is actually tied directly in with our ad platform is inventory analytics. So this tool right here gives you metrics based off of VDP engagements on your website. Obviously, the inventory is the most important thing, so we want to see how customers are interacting with that. So we can actually bucket your inventory into 3 different stages: green, yellow, and red. Obviously, the green are the hot performing cars, and the red are the lower performing cars. So this is going to give you insight as to what customers are looking at, and then you can, market your inventory based off of what you're seeing, based off of the engagement on this report. And from an advertising perspective, this can tie into our ad platform Fuel. So we can set parameters to, as if the vehicle has lower than 20 VDP views, we can actually increase the cost per click to ensure that the lower performing vehicles are getting more eyes, and in turn trying to move those vehicles. So it's a great, the connectivity between the inventory analytics and our ad platform is second to none, and it's a very, very valuable tool. Getting into the attribution side of things, so we have two great tools in terms of reporting and attribution. So we have an ROI calculator, which essentially can quantify how many vehicles were sold specifically from the website. So we can actually track to see what was sold from the website. And then based off of that, we can then give you the metrics based off of ad channel. So as you can see in this example, direct, organic, referral, and paid search. And if you're doing Facebook or anything, things of that nature, you can add that in as a source. And then we can tell you how many vehicles are sold and also what the gross per channel is. So it's a really great tool in terms of matching back those vehicle sales to your website. Then if you get into attribution, we actually have Joe, our founder, actually has, I believe he put a patent in on this on 2015 or so. So this is our Roxanne data. And what's great about this is that if you look at Google uses last click attribution. We actually used event-based attribution. So what this does is it gives you the ability to have to give credit to the session that had the most impact. So if they came in through paid search, but 2 months down the road, they came in through an organic search, and the organic search had more impact, we're going to actually give credit to the session that had the most impact. So it's more of an event-based attribution rather than first or last click. And then what's also great is that as soon as we can identify a customer, we can then track every session they have on your website and provide you with the click path, which in tune works with this Roxanne data. And it gives you a lot of insight into your customers instead of just looking at last click attribution, which historically everyone in automotive has been looking at. All of our websites come secure. So in October, I believe, Google is releasing a update that if you're on Google Chrome and you are not on an HTTPS website, it's going to show a message that the website is not secure. So our websites have been HTTPS. Any website that is on our platform will be launched with HTTPS. Then if you get into call tracking, we know there's a 9-to-1 phone call to form submission ratio. So we want to make sure that we're tracking all those calls, and you guys can actually listen to those calls in the back end of your website and quantify those. So we're going to hop into conversations. Conversations, again, we're one of the only providers in automotive that has our own proprietary chat platform. The great thing about this is that this is actually fully integrated with your website. And we were talking about site speed earlier. Ours is built into our code, so it's not going to slow down your website. And anything that's on your website is shareable. As you can see in this example, the inventory, anything incentives or specials or anything like that can be shared in the chat tool. We also have live video conversations. So any FaceTime, if you want to send a customer a video or launch a FaceTime, if they're not at the dealership, we have that capability directly through our conversations platform. And then we're also fully integrated with text messaging. If you think about how customers and people in general communicate these days, a lot of it is done through text. So we can actually, each conversations that is installed on the website gets a text number. So you can actually text directly through our conversations backend. And also with the customers, we're in the stages of releasing outbound texting as well. So if you have a customer in for service and you want to take a photo of the brake pad to say, you might need XYZ, we can actually use that as well through our texting capabilities. And we also know that each dealership operates differently from an operational standpoint. So we do offer 3 different types of chat. We offer self-managed, hybrid, and also fully managed as well. And another great feature on this is that we have internal chat. So at the dealership, you can actually transfer chats internally, and then you can also have chat conversations with employees at the dealership. So you can have an internal chat platform as well. And in terms of never missing a chat, we have Android and Apple apps as well. So you can get push notifications to your phone while you're on the platform. And then we're fully integrated with Facebook Messenger. So any customer communications are funneled down into our platform conversations. So you can have conversations through Facebook Messenger or your website or text, and it's all housed in one central platform. And if you want to take it to the next level, we are integrated with CarPlay and also Android Auto as well. So, if you want to do some really cool stuff with our chat platform, again, we can connect with these operating systems that are now being installed in cars. And this is really exciting. So we just rolled out our first chatbot. So as you can see in here, we are moving towards the direction of developing more chatbots for service and also for trade-ins as well. But right now, you can actually have an unlocked vehicle price on the website that no one at the dealership has to conversate with. So once we get the name and the contact information, we can then swap out the pricing and show an unlocked price. So if anyone on here, Toyota or Honda, this is a great tool. If you work with a dealer group, this is a great tool to kind of get around that pricing as well. But really cool stuff. We're doing a lot with chatbots, and this is kind of, this is just the beginning when it gets to, on the chatbot side. So I'm going to hop into Online Shopper. This tool is amazing, and I speak with dealer groups all over the country, and the biggest thing that they're talking about is how to provide that experience to your customers. And we have built the most robust online retailing tool. It's much more. A lot of tools out there are just advanced payment calculators. Ours is this full, environment, e-commerce type of environment that you can actually turn your leads into deals. So you can actually go through and structure the deals. As you're building out your deal, we'll be able to serve up multiple payments to the customer. So they can actually serve real-time payments. They can, as they get to the payment screen, they'll see the best, a good, better, best finance offer, and then a good, better, best lease offer. So this is just one portion of the tool. Again, getting the payments based off of the information that they provide. Again, I'm not going to do any justice for this, going over this in about 5 minutes, but this tool is amazing, and we've been seeing great results on this tool. And one of the other cool features on this is that it's fully integrated with our chat platform conversations. So again, as I spoke in the beginning, we develop software in a linear fashion. So as customers are building their tool and they have a question, they can then launch our chat tool conversations and then answer any questions to provide that, that online type e-commerce experience as they're trying to build their deal. And again, we're not of the nature of saying that everything is going to be built online and never going to come in and test drive a vehicle. We have the ability to, if a customer comes in and they test drive a vehicle, you can use this at your showroom floor and grab their information. Then they can actually leave the dealership with a text or an email in their pocket on their phone to then go home and then look at the deal, upload their photos of their trade-in or look at the payments. So it's a really, really cool tool. And we kind of give you kind of a dumbed down CRM in the back end to actually manage those online deals because we know that they are different. So as they go through the process and they like the vehicle, we're getting to this, to the stage where they want to put a deposit down. They can actually collect a deposit, and then they would do that through their credit card, and they can actually put a deposit on that vehicle. And then if they want to take photos of their vehicle, they can take photos of their vehicle, and it uploads that into our trade or our online retailing environment. And at the dealership, your trade manager or whoever can evaluate those photos as well. So it's a really cool tool, interactive. And again, the whole premise is to drive the customer into that online experience. And our tool does that. They just don't submit a lead and then that's it. It's more, I almost want to say conversational because it's back and forth with the dealership. And then end all be all, pending state by state regulations, you have the ability to go through and launch online signature as well. So I know we have about 5 or 6 minutes left, so I'm going to kind of go through our digital advertising. So all the different ad channels that we run through, if there's an ad channel out there, we are running our advertising through that. Our team itself, We're a Google Premier SMB partner or a Google Premier partner. And we have over 300 Google certifications. So you're working with the best of the best in the industry. And again, all the different ad channels, paid search, RLSAs, dynamic vehicle retargeting, Gmail ads. I know that they're going away with that here shortly. Facebook dynamic product ads, YouTube pre-roll, and then customer match. So one of the kind of our position is this, that we focus heavily on audience targeting because we want to capture the right customers, right? So a couple different ways that we can do this. One is purely by location. We can actually run your campaigns and tell you specifically based off of the campaigns that you're running. We can then map based off of that conversion and then the vehicle sales data from your DMS, where they're converting from, and you can layer that on top of the campaigns that you're running to look at the data and see how effective that is. And then here's an example of what that would look like in the back end. And then you get into remarketing for search, or RLSAs. Similar to retargeting in display, we can kind of segment out your audience and actually identify who are returning customers or who's already been to your website. And as they're browsing on Google, we can then identify them and increase the bids to ensure that you're showing up as they're browsing. So again, it's really about capturing, if they've been to your website, really capturing them and driving them back to your website when it comes to paid search. So we can actually have higher bids based off of customers that have already been to your website or things of that nature. So it's really effective. And then I think I was kind of just on tour with a parts and service program that was just rolled out. And it amazes me that very few people are doing customer match. If you do business with us or if you do business with someone else, this is so effective and it's so cheap. You can export, and just as an example, if you have customers that are coming off of a lease or they've never been in for service, you can export that name file from your DMS, upload those into Google or Facebook, and we can run hyper targeted ads to those customers because we can identify who they are based off of their email address, and then we can identify them and run, again, very targeted ads to this. So, and again, it allows you to target customers that you know, and then exclude current customers to reach new customers, and then you can actually launch similar audiences as well. Again, I'm not really doing it justice because of the time constraints, but we'd love to talk with you guys further about this. It's super effective, and not a ton of people are doing this. So again, if you can leave with a free tip, definitely talk to your provider about customer match. And then when it comes to actually using data, we partner with Oracle and Polk as well to provide different data sources to reach different audiences as well. And then I know we got a few minutes left. Fuel is our programmatic ad platform. So what this allows us to do is to sync with your inventory in real time. So as your inventory is changing, we can actually update your ads in your inventory. And it also allows us to run adaptive ad copy. So instead of just running generic ads for, in this example, a 2014 Jeep Cherokee, we can run specific ads based off the parameters that we're pulling out in your feed, whether it's miles, price, one owner, how many you have in stock, and things of that nature. So it allows us to be pretty versatile when it comes to creating ad copy. And then we can actually create conditional bidding logic, which I was talking about earlier on the inventory analytics. So if vehicle has less than 20 VDP views, we can actually increase the cost per click to make sure that that's showing more, allowing you to turn your inventory quicker. So we set this up in the beginning, and it basically is a rule set as a customer as your inventory changes or customers interact with your inventory, we can manipulate your ad campaigns to make sure that they're running to the best of what you guys are looking to accomplish. And as customers get lower in the purchase process, and as we get into keyword intent bidding, we want to make sure that we are showing up. So those lower funnel search terms allows us with conditional bidding to actually increase our probability of showing up as they're typing those in. And then we're going to be running A/B testing for our ads to ensure that the copy is good, constantly changing out the verbiage to ensure that we are converting based off of what we have for ad copy. So I just want to go over the process real quick. I got 2 more slides. So as you sign up with us and you become partners with Dealer Inspire, here are some of the steps that would go through in terms of launching your website. So again, we have this kind of down to a science. We've been launching a lot of websites as of late. So we're constantly changing this, trying to make it as easy and seamless for you at the dealership. And then training. We have weekly webinars, individual training, and then we also have ongoing training with product training. And then we have a great resource on our website called DI How Do I, which is kind of industry best practices and videos and things of that nature. And then in terms of your website and compliance, we have a compliance department at our company that looks at your website to ensure that the brand guidelines, content, disclaimers, and your ads are certified through Mazda. And then as we're working with you from a performance management standpoint, we want to make sure that we're measuring your goals, giving you guys that transparent reporting, and then also leaning on us to recommend to you guys. We look at ourselves as some of the brightest in the industry. So we have some great tips and tricks for you at the dealership. And then also, again, execution is the name of the game. So we want to make sure that we are executing based off of what you are working with us on. And then support. Here's just the metrics on this. I think the biggest number on this is that our customer satisfaction rating is around 98%. Again, as I mentioned earlier, if you have the best products, and if you have the best products, you got to make sure you have the best support, because if you don't have a great support to back up those products, it's not going to do you any good. That's all I have. I know that was a lot to cover in 30 minutes, but we would love to set up a time to chat with anyone after, and we can set up webinars with our sales reps or myself to get in depth and go through anything. Does anyone have any questions? Looks like everyone is muted, but if you have any questions, feel free to unmute, or you can chat in the chat icon to the right of the screen. Yes, we do have that, Bride. Do you want to put your email address in the chat and I can send that over to you? Great. I will send it over to you after this call. All right. Well, thank you again for taking the time today. And again, if anyone else has any other questions, feel free to reach out, and looking forward to partnering with you guys.
Thank you, Mike.